What is up, guys? Or howdy rowdy, everyone. Lightning here. And I'm here with my review for The Walking Dead's Season 9, Episode 11, titled Bounty. So, now getting right into it. So, as we all expected, this episode was going to be the hostage exchange between Hilltop and the Whisperers. And we know how episode 10 ended off. It ended off with Alpha and the Whisperers showing up at Hilltop with Luke and Alden. And at first, Daryl refused. Daryl refused to give Lydia over to Alpha until she revealed to him that she had Luke and Alden with her as prisoners, and would kill them if he didn't give her daughter back. And as soon as he saw Luke and Alden, he went back inside to get Lydia, and I think someone was asking him something like, "Where's Henry?" or whatever. He's like, he's gonna want to say goodbye. And while that was happening, Henry decided to take Lydia with him and basically sneak out and go to that little cabin that he went to with those kids in episode 8. So that's what was happening. And then we got to see the kingdom again. It was nice to see the kingdom again and what they've been up to. At the opening minutes of the episode, it was a flashback because Jesus was there, but it highlighted something important because that was when Tara left Alexandria and went to go live at Hilltop. But while she was doing the trade with the kingdom at this location, she brought this charter. Remember that charter that Michonne was talking about in episode 1? She actually did make a legit charter, and she was just sort of letting it collect dust. But Tara took it with her, and now the kingdom has it, or King Ezekiel has it now. And King Ezekiel is really looking forward to uniting the communities together again with this big fair coming up. And he wants them to sign the charter to show that they are united and together. So, yeah, that's what's going on with the kingdom. And then in present time, when it cuts to present time, King Ezekiel, Jerry, Diane, and Carol, they all go out on a mission to this theater along with a couple of other kingdomers. There's this new member of the kingdom named William. Very interesting. I think he's like a character from the comics, though. But whatever. New character, William from the kingdom. So they go to this theater because King Ezekiel wants to get this projector bulb for the theater in Kingdom, so he can show movies at the fair, which is actually pretty awesome. And they actually do manage to get the projector bulb and kill all the walkers there. There were like 30 or 40 walkers though in that theater. And that kind of leaves me just a little bit suspicious. Like, there's no way that 30 to 40 walkers have just been there the whole time. I think someone put them there. Maybe the Whispers. Maybe that's who did it, because they were looking to build up a huge walker army. Besides, that's what they do. They walk with the dead. Alright, anyways. So the kingdom was successful on their little supply run, and nobody died, thankfully. King Ezekiel was not harmed. Thank you. Don't harm the king. Jerry wasn't harmed. Yeah, don't harm Big Jer. And, oh, speaking of Jerry, he and Nabila, his girlfriend, have 3 kids. It's so amazing. They're repopulating the earth. And then Carol was fine, Diane was fine, everyone was fine. Nobody died. And now, let's cut back to Hilltop. While the search for Henry and Lydia is happening, one of the Whisperers that came with Alpha has a baby. And the baby starts crying and starts attracting a herd of walkers to Hilltop. And the mother of that baby, that Whisperer, was panicking, looking at Alpha, and Alpha sort of gave her a look like, well, what do you want me to do? You know how we do it." And it basically revealed what the Whisperers do with crying babies. They basically leave the babies to be eaten by the dead, because according to Alpha, this is what she said specifically: to live with the dead means to live in silence. If the mother can't quiet the child, then the dead will. Natural selection. That is such a messed up philosophy. So we got a deep, we got something very dark and deep about the Whispers and Alpha, like psychologically. And then Connie was still hiding in the cornfield, and Luke saw her, and so Luke he signed to her that there's a baby crying, and Connie goes out there and rescues the baby. Yay! Connie saved the day. And Connie almost got bit by walkers in the cornfield until Daryl, Kelly, Tammy Rose, and Earl came to the rescue, and they got Connie and that Whisperer baby to safety. So it all turned out well in the end. And then I think before that, before Daryl went out there to help Connie, he had his dog sniff one of Henry's shirts, and then the dog led him to that little secret passageway that everyone at Hilltop uses. I don't even know how Daryl didn't know that was there. Really? How did you not know it was there? Rosita and Sasha used it in season 7. Henry and those kids used it in episode 8. Magna and her group used it in episode 10. How did he not know about it? Alright, anyways, moving on. And when Daryl was getting ready to use his dog to track down Henry, Enid confronts him and says that, and basically says, "Let me go talk to him because he likes me. I can get through to him much better than you would be able to." And Enid brings that girl that took Henry to that little shack in the woods. So they go there. They find Henry and Lydia. Lydia is dressed like a normal person. She looks really good. Not gonna lie, looks really good as a normal person. And Henry tries to explain to Enid that what Lydia's mother does to her, basically abuses her, and Enid is basically tells him well, yeah, she's I think she says something along the lines of I wish there was something I could do to help, but I can't right now because her mother has 2 of our people, and she will kill them if we don't give her daughter back. And eventually Lydia comes out of the shack and tells Henry Henry, it's okay, I'm gonna go because she's my mother and they're my people. I miss them. And then she's like, "You gotta be okay. I'm gonna be okay, and you're gonna be okay." And then, lo and behold, Lydia and Henry kiss. That's Henry's first kiss right there. And then they all return to Hilltop, and then the exchange happens pretty smoothly. Luke and Alden are returned to Hilltop, and Lydia is given back to her mother. That's probably the first time in Walking Dead history that a trade has ever gone so smooth. Or maybe not the first time, but maybe it's a trade that has one of the few times a trade has gone well. Because the only time I can remember a trade like that went well was in season 1, when Rick and co ran across the Vatos gang and returned one of theirs. It was 1 for 1, whereas this one was 2 for 1. So this is probably the second time a trade has gone well. Most of the time in Walking Dead history, it never goes well. So it was nice to see nobody died. Alright, and then there was a very interesting interaction between Alpha and Lydia when they were reunited. Lydia goes up to her mom and says, "I'm sorry, Mama. Thanks for coming to get me." And then Alpha just looks at Lydia and then slaps her across the face and then brings her in for a hug and is like, "You'll call me Alpha like all the rest." And Lydia's like, "Yes, Alpha." And she, like, that's just so weird. It shows how messed. Again, it goes more. That shows a lot about Alpha's character and how messed up she is. Like, she just slapped her own daughter for calling her mama. And then hugs her and says, "You'll call me Alpha like all the rest." And then she gives Daryl this weird smile, and then they just leave. Like that. Like, Alpha did what she said she would do. She's like, "I just want my daughter. If you give her back, we'll leave. And never see each other again." Just like that. And then, later on, Henry and Daryl have a little talk about how Henry asks Daryl how he can like live with it basically, and I understand where Henry is coming from. I'm kind of with Henry on this one. I'm probably gonna get tomatoes thrown at me, but you know what? I personally like Henry. I think he has a very big heart, like his father, the king. I think he and Ezekiel are so much alike in terms of like their outlooks on life. They may most of the time, or some of the time, or most of the time, they'll probably be too unrealistic, but it's good to know that there are people that have like very big hearts and act on their morals like that. So I like the focus of morality in this episode a lot, definitely. And oh, what else? Yeah, so Henry and Daryl have their conversation, and then it starts cutting back and forth between like the happy moments, like Ezekiel and Carol having a happy moment, Magna and her group having a happy moment, while Connie is just kind of like stunned. And then that Whisperer baby ends up being adopted by Earl and Tammy Rose. So at least that baby has parents now, and also Earl and Tammy Rose have a kid because they lost their son Ken. So they'll be able to raise another child again. I mean, they're like super old, but whatever. They'll take what they can get. And then it cuts to Enid and Alden getting busy in their room, and then it cuts to Henry just sort of thinking about Lydia, and then he decides to leave, and he leaves a note saying like, "I can't live with it. I'm gonna go get Lydia." And Daryl and Dog are getting ready to set off. Connie notices him getting ready to leave, and she decides to go with him. Basically for the same reason that Henry left. She said, "I can't live with it either," because she saw firsthand what these people do with babies that Connie saw firsthand what these people do with babies that won't stop crying. They leave them for the dead to be eaten. That's messed up. And she also witnessed Alpha slap her own daughter for calling her mama instead of Alpha. So that's the reason Connie went. And it's going to be a very interesting duo between Connie and Daryl, because Connie is deaf, so she has to like write this. She has to write the stuff down and just show it to Daryl. And then I'm guessing it's going to probably be like the most stealthiest duo ever, because Daryl doesn't talk that much and Connie is deaf. So, going to be interesting. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point for them to be stealthy, because that's kind of what the Whisperers do. They have to be quiet. So I guess it works in that sense. Let's see what happens in episode 12, but I will save my predictions for that in my predictions video that's coming after this one. Alright, but overall, I rate this as a very solid episode, because it dived really deep into the Whisperers' philosophy and what they're all about. What they're all about a little bit, because like the stuff with the baby, and how Alpha treats Lydia when she gets reunited with her, and then what else? There was something else. Oh, why can't I think of it? It was just on the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to think of it. Oh. What? Wait. Oh my. I, okay, you know what? I can't think of it right now. Ugh. Okay, but anyways, another point. Uh, it also showed off like the build up for the fair with the kingdom going on that supply run for the projector bulb, and oh, I also forgot to mention the kingdom also got like a frame for the charter, so uh, so they can have the other communities sign it. It also had Sanctuary listed on there, but obviously Sanctuary went bust, so you can scratch that one off. But yeah, like I said, I think this is a very solid episode, very good build up to what is to come in the following episodes. And I remember when I made my predictions for this episode, when Ryan Hurst was casted in this episode as Beta, I was like, oh, we get to see Beta? And no, we got nothing of Beta. So I was completely wrong on that. So don't throw tomatoes at me over that one. We're definitely getting him in the next episode. Definitely from the promos. Alright, but that's going to be it for my review of The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 11, Bounty. Alright, anyway guys, this is Light T75, Real T75, signing off. I will see you for my predictions of Episode 12, titled Guardians. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.